Hi, I'm Margaret Bodalski. When most people think of respecting someone, they typically think of someone who is older and wiser than they are. It is easier to respect those who are in authority or those we are trying to impress, but it is often more important to respect those that aren't in positions of power. I have learned a lot about respecting my peers through the dynamics of my baton twirling team. At practices, we must do a certain number of repetitions for each trick, and if every girl does not catch it, we all have to keep practicing until we reach the specific goal. There are a wide variety of skill levels among the girls on my team, which requires patience and can cause frustration for everyone involved. During water breaks, I sometimes see those who are struggling with a particular trick practicing it over and over, while everyone else is relaxing. That dedication causes me to respect them for their hard work far more than their skill level can. Although they may not have stood out for their ability, that doesn't mean they don't stand out for their persistence. The concept of showing courtesy towards all is important everywhere. Sports teams, in the classroom, and eventually the workplace. Working together is an essential part of any sports team because it's not about one person. Teamwork cannot be achieved without respecting everyone on the field or court. The same type of respect is similar to peer interaction in a classroom. Respecting your classmates is important for group projects because it includes valuing other people's opinions and being open to being wrong. One of the best ways to be respected is by working hard, but in addition, showing respect to others by being considerate and understanding will result in mutual respect. Up next is Charlie Burton.
3 years old. Today is my 15th and final opening ceremony. Being a lifer, I've come to see how the meaning of respect evolves over time. Respect is not a static concept, but rather one that changes and matures as we do. In lower school, respect was taught in its most basic form: respect for your classmates, for your elders, and for the rules. Whether it was the quiet zone or nap time, I often struggled to maintain respect for these basic principles, being the antsy child that I was. In middle school, our academic as well as behavioral expectations are raised, and we are expected to be more mature. We learn to respect others' differences as we become less self-centered and more aware of our peers. Respect meant honoring the opinions and beliefs of others, regardless of whether or not we agree with them. As we enter high school, newfound independence in the classroom and in our personal lives forces us to redefine respect again. Later curfew, access to a car, and the other freedoms we crave require a greater level of respect for ourselves, not followed by the constant surveillance that once ruled our earlier lives. We are forced to respect ourselves and others even when others aren't watching. Although the academic lessons we've learned throughout our years at USM are of great value, the intangible lessons of respect and personal virtues are equally important in helping us succeed in our lives beyond USM. Thank you. Up next is
respect. This is a phrase we have all heard hundreds of times, and while it is undoubtedly true, it is missing a key component. It fails to recognize the more personal side of respect, respecting oneself. As junior English was coming to an end, instead of taking a formal final exam, we were given a project in which we were asked, "What is America?" and told to respond in a creative way that we felt best answered the question. One of my classmates painted and analyzed the Liberty Bell, one wrote poems representing each region of the United States, and another made a video in which she asked USM students, "What makes you unique?" She walked around the school and videotaped students answering this question. The answers were very entertaining. One girl said her crazy hair makes her unique, one boy said his large neck makes him unique, and another boy said that he is unique because in 2032 he will become the youngest president of the United States of America. All of the responses were interesting, but one response particularly resonated with me. One girl, after thinking about the question for a few seconds, addressed what makes her unique by saying, "I guess, compared to other people, I like myself a lot." Her answer was so simple, yet so profound. Self-respect is a byproduct of liking ourselves. Self-respect means liking who we are, including our opinions, how we look, our abilities, and also our weaknesses. However, self-respect goes beyond just liking ourselves as we already are. It also involves working to become the people we aspire to be. When we generate goals for ourselves and achieve those goals, we feel proud and motivated. This pride leads to positivity that can spread and beneficially impact others. Many of us go about our busy lives and forget to check in with ourselves and ask ourselves how we're doing. We become distracted by things that shouldn't in the big picture really matter, and we lose track of who we are and what we believe in. When I think of my classmates' commitment to liking ourselves and the positive impact of that on our community, I'm inspired to do the same. Respect begins with each of us, and self-respect is the first component in knitting together a likable community. Thank you.
Since little, I've been competing in team sports, which has taught me the importance of respect. It is first and most important to respect yourself. Many of my coaches have told me to play with pride. The self-respect you need and the confidence you gain while playing with pride greatly increases your performance. In the words of Clint Eastwood, respect yourselves. Self-respect leads to self-discipline, and when you have both of those firmly under your belt, that's the real power. In 8th grade, I played football with a kid that proved this statement to be true. With very little time left on the clock, he was put in at cornerback, a position he had never played before in his life. But because of the discipline and attention to detail he had, due to his self-respect, he was able to learn the position on the fly. Another factor that led him to be able to play well was his respect for others around him. Because he had trust in them that they would do what they were supposed to do and cover up for his mistakes, he was able to play with pride and complete self-respect. With this combination of self-respect and respect for his teammates, he was able to make the big play, an interception to seal the win. Up next, Tyler Smith.
As I went to my bedroom to rest my sleepy eyes, I heard a sound from outside my window. I quickly got out of bed, swung open the back door, and went into the night to investigate. To my surprise, I saw a petite tortoiseshell cat, no older than a year, staring back at me with deep, brown eyes. She meowed softly. After coaxing her into my arms with milk and treats, I found a pink collar. On her collar was her name, Serenity, along with the phone number of her owner. I tried calling the number, but no one picked up. It was past midnight, and I was sure her owner was fast asleep. I was stuck with one of two choices: leave the poor cat out in the cold, or bring her to my warm house for the night. Being the animal lover that I am, I decided to bring her inside. While she checked out every nook and cranny of my house, I prepared her living quarters. I set up a litter box, food, a water bowl, and a large fluffy pillow. I planned for her to stay in my spare bedroom so she could sleep comfortably. By the time I was done, it was around 1 a.m. and I was really tired. I accidentally fell asleep and woke up to her cradled in my arms. Later that morning, I called her owner a second time. As it turns out, her family only lives a few blocks away. She unintentionally let herself outside through an open window, and her owners had been looking for her since the previous night. When I pulled up in their driveway with Serenity in tow, the family thanked me profusely for returning their precious pet. It was my pleasure to help Serenity and her family in their time of need. If my cat were missing, I know I'd want someone to give her a comfortable place to stay for the night, and I'd want her back in my arms as soon as possible. It all boils down to the golden rule: treat people how you want to be treated. Respect does not discriminate. It doesn't matter what color you are, if you're tall or short, human or cat. It is our responsibility, no, it is our duty to treat everyone and everything with the utmost respect. Now, let's make the 2014-2015 school year a year to remember. Not only for the memories we will make and the fun we will have, but for helping each other out, not for personal gain, but for the enrichment of others. Thank you. Up next is Jake.
Good morning, everyone. One common theme in the high school is respect between teachers and students. Rather than being a one-way street in which teachers have to respect students because it is their job to do so, students return the favor over the course of the day. In the classroom setting, the respect for one another is prominent. For example, in English class, teachers do not sit on a pedestal and tell the students what the correct answer is to a question in the text. Instead, they guide the discussion and allow for students to voice their own ideas and viewpoints on a topic. Last year in my English class, the teacher would occasionally enter the room and allow us to talk for the whole time. He did not once tell us what he thought, as he respected our viewpoint and let us discuss among ourselves for the period. Teachers also respect our busy schedules. By telling teachers in advance of an upcoming game, they are respectful enough to adjust the time in which we have to turn in an assignment or take a test. The administration also respects our ability to make the right decisions by giving us free time. We are not forced to sit in study halls and have the teachers look over our shoulders as we do our work. They respect us enough to allow us to manage our time the way we see fit. They only step in if we are not getting our work done on time. Respect, however, is a two-way street. We as students cannot abuse the freedom we have been given. With this new schedule, the hope is students have less homework and more time to complete that homework. We cannot make up excuses as to why we were not able to complete this work on time. It would be disrespectful to our teachers. The onus is on the students to make sure that we continue to respect our elders, what our elders have to say, so that we can enjoy the privileges they give us. As the new year begins, I urge everyone to remember that respect goes both ways. Have a great school year. And next up is the middle school.